Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvashavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namah. Let us read the third verse. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Aksharam Brahma Paramam Svabhavodhyatma Muchyate Bhuta Bhavodbhavakaraha Visargah Karma Sanyitaha Svabhavaha Adhyatma Muchyate. Kim tad Brahma, kim Adhyatmam. O Lord, what is the expression of Brahma, Adhyatmam, at the level of the self? Lord Krishna says, Svabhavaha. Brahman appears in yourself as Svabhavaha, as one's own nature. Swa, one's own, Bhavaha, nature. One's own nature, as one's own being, as one's own self. How do we know that? So, when in fact, when we only inquire into the nature of what is the meaning of I, and this is what we started in the morning, that the reason why this has to be said is because about I or about myself, lots of conclusions are there. And these conclusions or notions are all arising without having made any scrutiny with reasoning as to whether there is any reason why I look upon or take myself to be what I am. That is there any reason for me to think that I am limited or that I am so and so, and this is just there habitually? That means that it has been just taken for granted that I am so and so without having to stop to inquire whether or not there is proper reasoning behind that. That is why the scriptures pursue this inquiry. Who am I? And every Upanishad does it its own way. For example, Taittiriya Upanishad asks this question, who am I? The answer is, I am this body. The first response is, I am the body. But that's the most visible expression, I am the body. That's fine. Then of course that is even better than saying that I am my wealth and I am my home and I am myself. In fact, that I extends even beyond the body. Some people are so attached to things. Someone can be so attached to the car, I think perhaps that is looked upon as myself, or my son, or my house and things like that. It is to say that I am the body. Even that also shows that at least I am quite clear that things outside the body I am not. Next question is, all right, you are the body, fine. Why do you say I am the body? Because body is sentient. I know that I am a conscious being. This is quite clear to me. And therefore, whatever is conscious is taken to be I, naturally. This body is sentient, is conscious, and therefore, naturally, I take it to be I. It is interesting how, when what presently is looked upon as I, when it gets separated from the body, is no more looked upon as I. Whatever right now, even this hair also is I, And therefore, I'm very particular about how I look or how my hair is. When you cut this hair, when it falls on the ground, it's no more I. I'm no more attached to that. My nails and things like that. Somewhere even the question is also asked that suppose one of the limbs, is cut off, let us say for whatever reason, I realize that is not I. Anyway, this body is taken to be I because it is sentient. It is understandable. The question is the sentiency of the body on account of itself, or is there something else because of which the body is sentient? Anyontaraatma pranamaya tasmadva etasmad andarasmayat anyontaraatma pranamaya. So hey, as compared to this body, that is a modification of food. There is another self which is within and which is subtler than that, and that is pranamaya, the self made of prana. So first is the self made of the food or the modification of food. This is my first knowledge. And then, as I said, when we inquire as to what is it because of which the self made of food is sentient, then when we come to understand that it is prana, it is prana, this vital air, because of which the food, the body itself made of food is sentient. And what it is? Because of the presence of prana, because of the presence of the vital air. Because we know that when the prana departs, when the prana, the vital, is no more in the body is not sentient. It is no more looked upon as self. And therefore, what is it that makes me look upon this body as a self? It is that prana. Prana means that vital air, the life breath. And that is inside and subtler than this. And it is because of which the body is sentient. And therefore, truly speaking, it is that prana which should be looked upon as a self. And the question is, all right, are these pranas, self must be conscious being, no doubt. It must be innermost. It must be independent. This is generally what I understand. That the self must be conscious being, must be innermost aspect of myself, and it must be independent. Is prana, is this life breath, is it the innermost? Now prana is that which also manifests as the breathing in, breathing out, and which is also responsible for all the physiological functions in my body. That prana or that vital air, is it conscious because sentient because of itself? Is it independent? Is it the subtlest? Then the answer is no. There is even another aspect of my being which is what we call the mind. And this pranas function as directed by the mind. It is mind that decides. Let us say that I am sitting here in my chair and the bell rings and my mind says, hey, come on, go and open the door. So mind directs the prana, the vital energy, to open. Therefore, the legs stand up, they walk, all the movements of limbs, all of this is possible because of the vital air. And these movements of the limbs, all of these take place not independently, but as directed by the mind. And therefore, it is mind that is inner, subtler, independent, controlling with reference to even prana. And therefore, it is mind that should properly be looked upon as a self. But is mind independent? Is it the innermost or the subtlest aspect of my being? Oh, subtler than mind is even the intellect. Intellect is a knowing faculty, the thinking faculty. It is where all knowledge takes place. That is where all my judgments and conclusions take place. So even the mind also, when it thinks, various emotions of the mind entertains, various impulses of the mind very often displays, all of these also are guided or controlled by yet another faculty, which is what we call intellect. Because my emotions also are based on the various conclusions that I have about myself and about the life. See, the way I respond, suppose I meet somebody, the way I respond, either with affection or with aversion, all of this is the mind. But how did the affection, aversion, how did all of these get created? Because of the conclusions that I have in my intellect, based on whatever experiences I gain. And therefore, even the emotions of the mind also are controlled by, I can change them. If I learn and come to know things in a different way, my emotions also change. The way I respond to the things also change. Changes, and thus it is intellect which is inner, subtler, controller, even with reference to the mind. Is that intellect the knowing, the thinking faculty, the doing faculty. Is it the subtlest aspect of my being? He says, no. You the intellect. So, Taittiriya Upanishad explains how intellect is a place where all knowledge takes place. It is also a place where the sense of doership is there. So all the actions are performed by the intellect, or the knowledge also is gained by the intellect. But is there something that even motivates the intellect to pursue certain knowledge? He says, yes, there is yet a subtler aspect of my being, which desires or demands that, hey, I want to get that. I want to gain happiness. This aspect says, for gaining happiness, I require a given thing. To get that thing, I must perform this particular action. For performing that action, I must have this kind of knowledge or skills. So we find that even the pursuit of knowledge that we have in our life is really so that we can perform different kinds of actions. Whether I go to schools, colleges, universities, or whatever I do, all the knowledge that I gain is so that I can gain certain skills, certain abilities, so that I can perform certain kinds of actions, by performance of which I can acquire desirable things in my life. Ultimately, even the activities of the intellect are directed by the need to have the desirable experiences, the experience of what we call the pleasure, the pursuit of pleasure and avoiding the pain. So subtler than the intellect also is there is a self, intellectual self. So first is what you may call the physical self. Subtler than that and interior is what we call the vital air self. Subtler than that also is the emotional self. Subtler than that, interior to that, controlling that is the intellectual self. And even controlling that, subtler than that, is what we call the happy self. Happy means the self seeking happiness. Is it the subtlest of my being? Taittiriya Upanishad explains, even when I feel happy because of what? Even that I am happy, even that is also not the ultimate nature of mine. That because of which I become happy. What is that? That is the very self, that is Brahma. The Brahman, the self, which is the nature of happiness, is when that is experienced, that I feel happy. And therefore, even subtler than the happy self is the very self which is the nature of happiness. I am happy is one thing, and happiness even is the content or essence of this happy person. So happiness or fullness, Brahma Pucham Pratishtha, Brahma ultimately is the true self. And in this manner Upanishads pursue the inquiry as to who am I. And when we pursue different ways you can do this. Different Upanishads do it in different ways. Ultimately we come to know that what I look upon as a limited or individual being, having all kinds of limitations, that is not the true nature of mine, that really what I am is Brahman, the limitless. That is what is meant as Svabhavaha Adhyatma Uchyate. Hey, the expression of Brahman at the level of the individual self is nothing but my own being. So that Brahman, Aksharam, which is immutable, which is the very substratum of the whole universe, is also my very self. And thus that expresses as the very self. So this is the expression of Brahman at the level of the individual being as Adhya, as Svabhava, as my own being, my own self. Aksharam, so kim tad Brahma, kim Adhyatmam, kim Karma. And third thing Arjuna asked is, what is meant by karma? Then Lord Krishna says, Bhuta bhavod bhavakaraha visargaha karma sanyitaha. Very interesting reply Lord Krishna gives. What is karma? What is action? What does action do? In fact, Lord says that very Brahman or God is manifest as action. So this word karma is defined here. Bhuta bhava udbhavakaraha. So that which causes the creation of the beings. Visarga, offering. Visarga means offering. This is said with reference to a typical or conventional sacrificial ceremony, as we know, which is called yajna, where we create an altar and light up the fire and invoke gods in that fire and make offerings. So this process of offering, it's not that we just throw things in the fire. We don't throw things in fire. Some people say, what are you doing? You're wasting all this material simply burning it in fire. There are very interesting ways of worshipping gods. When many devoted people, when they even go to a river, a holy river, all rivers are holy anyway, but then some rivers are even holier than others, they worship the river. How do they worship the river? One of the ways of worshipping the river is they pour milk in the river. So reciting some chanting and so forth, they pour milk in the water. Hey, this is just a waste. This water is, it just it gets lost in the river, the milk. Or, as I said, when you perform this yajna or the sacrificial ceremonies, rituals, then in the fire we make offerings. It is not done to the fire, it is done to the gods. So we invoke gods in the fire and to them the offering is made. But really, what is meant by yajna, or what is meant by sacrifice, or what is meant by worship is this act of offering to God. That's all. And so, in Bhagavad Gītā, Lord Krishna gives a more wider definition or wider explanation of what is meant by yajna. In the Vedic times, the word yajna is confined to this conventional yajna as we understand, where offerings are made to the deities, where these are invoked in the fire. But Lord Krishna says no, that alone need not be called yajna, because there also what makes it yajna or sacrifice is that very act of offering, or the spirit of offering. And therefore, any kind of an action which is performed with the spirit of offering will be called yajna. And what does this yajna do? Bhuta bhavod bhavakaraha. It is a yajna, or the whole spirit of offering, which is responsible for the creation of this whole universe. In the third chapter, Lord Krishna explained, this is a Vedic way of explaining, or the Vedic model. Different models are given. So this one model is given. Lord Krishna explains in the third chapter. Here you're going to look, all the bodies are created from food. So yes. The food is created from water. Yes. Or from the rains. The rains are created because of what? Rains are created because of yajna. Yajna means the sacrifice. That means the spirit of sacrifice. See, rains generally are an indication of prosperity. Lord Krishna explains that the prosperity is there because of the spirit of offering, a spirit of sacrifice. So wherever a group of people are maybe living a life wherein this spirit of cooperation and offering is maintained, you will find that society prospers. And so, anyway, this is how it is explained, how the creation of the whole universe is possible because of the spirit of yajna. And in Bhagavad Gītā and elsewhere it is explained also that this is a spirit, in fact, that pervades everywhere in the whole universe, and that we will come to that. Because of the yajna that is being explained. How this spirit of yajna is prevalent everywhere in the universe. How different elements of the nature are constantly performing yajna. Even sun, Surya, also is constantly performing yajna. He is a karma yogi. Sun is a great karma yogi. So he constantly performs this karma in the spirit of offering. Not only the sun illumines our path by giving us the light, but sun also gives us the energy. At the same time, by its heat, the sun is constantly evaporating water from all the water reservoirs and converting that water into vapor and into the clouds and into the rain. And so it is because of the yajna performed by the sun and the moon, both of them, that the clouds and rain is possible. And thus if you look at all the various elements of nature, we find that all of them live or all of them function in the spirit of yajna. The earth also constantly performs yajna in the sense of offering, nourishing, without any reward or any kind of an expectation of return, even if you abuse it. Of course, in India, people who worship earth also as God. But not everybody. Many people abuse it also. Some people kick, some people pollute, all kinds of things are done. And still, the earth continues to support and nourish. Water also. Water also is looked upon as sacred. So then the rivers are also worshipped. But it's not that everybody worships. Even when you go to the Ganges, there are some people who are so devotedly worshipping the river and performing the prayers and making offerings. Right there are many people who are fouling up the place also. But then the river continues to serve them, continues to remove their thirst, continues to clean their bodies, continues to nourish them without any kind of an expectation. And this is how it is with all the elements of nature. Sun, all is illuminates everybody, regardless of how there's no distinction or discrimination between the sinner and the saint. The space accommodates everybody, and space also conveys the sound. Space doesn't say that, hey, this fellow is saying good words and therefore I will convey sound to longer distance, and this fellow is using bad words so I'll keep the sound right there. No such thing. It's also done without any discrimination at all. The idea is that it is in the spirit of yajna alone that the whole universe is constructed, or the whole universe functions with the spirit of sacrifice or spirit of offering. It is because of that that the creation, sustenance, all of this is possible. And so it is also said in the Smritis that when you perform any action in the spirit of this yajna, the offering, that very action gets converted in a subtle way, and all these subtle effects, all of them get accumulated, and the accumulated effect then bring about the results in the form of this creation. So Lord Krishna says, Bhuta bhavod bhavakaraha visargaha karma samyudaha. So Lord Krishna says, hey Arjuna, understand that that spirit of yajna also is I. That very karma, that very offering also is I. In that way, I myself manifest as a karma. So I am Param Brahma, as the very soul of the universe. I am the Svabhava, as the very self of every living being. And I am also the karma, the action that is responsible for the creation and sustenance of the universe. Okay, then continuing, in the 4th verse, Lord Krishna says, actually what is said about the karma in the scriptures is that you make the ahutis, that is, make oblations, uttering the name of the god or deity, Indraya Swaha, Varunaya Swaha, Prajapataya Swaha. This is how we offer. That every oblation gets converted into a subtle effect and gets accumulated in the sun, Aditya. And from there it comes down as the rains. This is how they explain. Okay. Then further in the 4th verse we are told, Adhibhutam ksharo bhavaha, Adhibhutam ksharo bhavaha, Purushascha-adhidaivatam, Purushascha-adhidaivatam, Adhiyajñohamevatra, Adhiyajñohamevatra, Dehe deha bhrutam vara, Dehe deha bhrutam vara. Adhibhutam ksharo bhavaha. And the next question of Arjuna was, what is adhibhutam? Oh Lord, what is your expression with reference to bhuta? Bhuta means the beings and bhuta means elements. So what is your expression with reference to the elements? Lord Krishna says, ksharo bhavaha. What is central being is subject to decline, ksharaha. So Lord Krishna says, whatever is ksharaha, whatever is subject to change, whatever is perishable, that is the Adhibhuta. In short, Lord Krishna says, I am the one that manifests also as a changing and perishing universe. So this body, in fact, this body is made up of the 5 elements. Everything is made up of 5 elements. That's our model. The whole universe is made up of the combination of 5 elements. These 5 elements being space, air, fire, water and earth. And thus we find all the 5. Each element has its own characteristic. The characteristic of space is sound. The characteristic of air is touch. The characteristic of fire is the guna, or the quality of fire is color or form. The quality of water is taste. And the quality of earth is smell. So the unique quality of earth, smell. Unique quality of water, taste. Unique quality of fire, form or color. Unique quality of air is touch. And unique quality of space is sound. And so wherever you find sound, you know that space is present. And so this body, when it falls down or strikes against something, it makes a sound. That means the space is there. Whatever you can touch, you know that air is there. Whatever has a form and color, know that fire is there. Whatever has a taste, know that water is there. Whatever has a smell, know that earth is there. So body is all of this. It has smell also, taste also, touch also, color also, form also, sound also. Thus we say that this body is made up of 5 elements. And this is true of any object. So these objects which make sound, that cannot be unless space is there. I can touch it, air is there. It is a form and color, fire is there. It is a taste also. If you take a little piece of this, it is a taste, water. And it has a smell, that is earth. This is called bhuta. These 5 elements are called bhuta. Bhuta means element. How many are there? No, 5 elements, then we say. And all the gross or the tangible creation, including our body, all of that we see is said to be made up of these 5 elements. This is what we call a model. So this is a Vedic model of explaining the universe. There are different ways of looking upon how the world is made, but this is one simple way. This is a very convenient way also. You may have heard this word prapancha in Sanskrit. Prapancha. Pancha means 5. So we see everywhere this combination of 5. So within again our personality also we see these 5 things. So thus there are these objects of the world made of the 5 elements possessing these 5 qualities, as I said, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, the sound, touch, color, taste and smell. And we are also endowed with 5 organs of perception to perceive or experience those 5 elements. Thus we have faculty of hearing with which we perceive the sound. A faculty of touch with which we experience the touch, that is element air. We have this faculty of seeing with which we perceive the colors and form. We have the faculty of taste with which we perceive the taste. And we have the faculty of smelling with which we perceive the smell. So it's convenient that there are 5-fold objects, and to experience those 5-fold objects, we have the 5-fold senses. And then we have 5 organs of perception, 5 organs of action also we have. So all these 5 elements, 5 kinds of objects, 5 kinds of qualities, 5 organs of perception, 5 organs of action, 5 pranas, everything is all 5. So this universe, which is sort of a combination of these 5, is called prapancha. And so this is one way of looking at the whole universe, which is made up of 5 elements. And one thing about this elemental creation is that it is constantly changing. It is the nature of these elements to constantly change. And thus we find everything is perishable. Even though something may be perishable faster than others, and certain things may look like going on forever, but still everything constantly changes. And everything that is created is in the process of slowly exhausting itself, perishing, and then ultimately coming to its end. So Lord Krishna says, this elemental creation, this creation made of 5 elements, which is characterized by being perishable, that also is I. So this is how I manifest also as this perishable or changing creation made up of 5 elements. Therefore, although we say that the body I am not, and the prana I am not, and the mind I am not, but that also ultimately that also is God. So this body that is made of 5 elements and constantly changing, ultimately perishing, also is expression of God. My prana's vital air, also expression of God. My mind, intellect, all of these are also said to be made up of the 5 elements, subtle state. They are also, so this personality. Thus we have been saying that this I is a union of the two principles, the person and the personality, spirit and matter, Purusha and Prakriti. The spirit or the person is Brahman, at the same time this personality, made up of the body, sense organs, the mind, intellect, which is all created from the 5 elements, all of that also is nothing but God. So ultimately Lord Krishna, everything is God, and we have to recognize Him as such. So body also is God, or that is also expression of God, so also prana, so also sense organs, so also mind, so also intellect. This what we call the personality also is a perishable expression of God. Himself is imperishable, but what is perishable also is nothing but His own expression, His own manifestation. Adhibhutam ksharo bhava. The next it is said, Purushascha adhidevatam. And what is centered on the devatas is Purusha Hiranyagarbha. This word is new for everybody. So in translation says Hiranyagarbha, Bhav, Hiranyagarbha. Hiranya means gold or golden. Garbha, Garbha means the womb, the golden womb. You know what is the womb? Womb is the causal state before the child, before the manifest expression of the child, it is in the form of embryo in the womb. Similarly also, before the whole universe becomes manifest, it is in a state of what we call the embryo or the womb. It is in a subtle state, and the subtle alone becomes the gross. So the way of looking at the creation is, from the causal state comes the subtle state, and from the subtle state comes the gross state. Anyway, you try to understand this, otherwise it's not very important, but whatever you can understand will be fine. To explain this creation in another way, with reference to our day-to-day experiences, that I go to sleep, and let us say that I am fast asleep, and the waking up process takes place in 2 stages. The first stage is that I wake up half awake I am. That is what we call the state of dreaming, where I am not totally sleeping, not totally awake, or I am half sleeping and half awake. This is the state of dream. We can call it the half waking state. And from then I come to the waking state, which is the full waking state. So deep sleep or sound sleep, dreaming and waking. This sound sleep, this is called the causal state. The dream is called the subtle state, and the waking is called the gross state. Gross, subtle, causal. Like the seed is the cause. From that comes the sprout, that is subtle. From that comes the whole tree, which we call gross. These are the stages of manifestation. So this Hiranyagarbha is the subtle state. So from the causal state of the whole universe, the first expression is the totality of subtle body. Or the whole universe is in a subtle state, in a thought state, in a dream state like. Just as my whole personality is in the sound sleep, then the whole personality is in the dream state, and the whole personality is in the waking state. So you can imagine the universe also. First the whole universe is sound asleep in the causal state, and then it half wakes up. That is what we call the subtle state. And that state is called Hiranyagarbha. And then it becomes fully awake, which is what we call the whole tangible creation. So that is called Virat. So those are the names. So Lord Krishna says, even the totality of all the subtle bodies, that also I am. It's a gross body. So that made up of 5 gross elements, that is a perishable expression, that I am. Then we have what we call the subtle body, consisting of the mind and the prana and sense organs. Lord Krishna says, that also I am. That is called here Purusha or Hiranyagarbha. So Purushascha Adhidaivatam. That is my manifestation with reference to the Devata, the cosmic forces. See, all these words are used here, and they are based on a lot of things that are said elsewhere. And perhaps to understand all these words, we may have to get into certain details which are not so important. All that is important here is to recognize how God alone is manifest in various aspects of the universe. That is the most important thing. So what we perceive before us is a tangible or the gross creation. And we know that this creation, the phenomena taking place in the creation, they are all controlled by certain cosmic forces. Like the phenomenon of light. For every phenomenon there is what we call a presiding deity. So sun is the presiding deity of light. He is also said to be the presiding deity of the faculty of seeing. And therefore it is sun because of whom we are able to see. What the sun does is, sun first of all illumines this object. You say, no Swami, sun does not illumine the object. Where is sunlight here? It is this light, of the bulb that illumines the object, which is true. But is it not that ultimately the light coming from the bulb also comes from sunlight? The light coming from the bulb comes because of electricity. Electricity comes from where? From some power generating station, where it is created from some form of energy. Whether it is thermal energy, that is whether you burn coal, or whether you burn gas, or whether you burn oil, or nuclear, some energy. Ultimately that coal or the petroleum, all of these is nothing but the transformation of energy of sun. So the whole earth of course is a product of sun. And the earth functions also because of the energy constantly provided by the sun. As I said, the sun performs yajna and is responsible for the rain, responsible movement of the air, responsible for everything. All of it nothing but in some ways transformation of sunlight. So that sun, the energy of the sun gets transformed as coal or as petroleum or as whatever, and that alone is transformed again as electricity and transformed as light. And therefore, wherever any energy is, the source is only sun. So sun is looked upon as the presiding deity of the faculty of seeing. It is because of his light that the objects are illumined, and therefore our eyes can see. Our eyes can be there, but if the objects are not illumined by the light, we cannot see them. Not only that these objects are illumined by the sun, our eyes are also illumined by the sun, because in the eyes also there is a light. If the light is not there, I would be a blind person. The fact that my eyes see is because of the light provided in the eyes, that also is provided by the sun. The subtle aspect of the sun. That's how we say that the sun is the presiding deity of the faculty of seeing. Similarly, all these various faculties we have, all of them are presided over by different what we call devatas. That I can lift my arm and I can perform actions with the help of my arm is because there is a blessing or grace of its presiding deity, who is Indra. I can walk. There's motion in my legs because of the favor of the presiding deity is called Vishnu. And so on and so forth. I can breathe. It is because of air, the Vayu, the presiding deity that sustains my life. It is Varuna, the presiding deity of water, is because of which my thirst is quenched and whatever. It is Agni, the presiding deity of heat, because of which the digestion takes place and the body heats it maintains. So you can imagine, for every function that takes place in our body, we in fact, that is possible because we enjoy the grace or favor of some or the other cosmic phenomenon, which are called devatas, which are called the gods or the presiding deity. And thus we see that whole universe also functions because of this presiding deities, the gods, and even our body also functions because of the favor of these gods or presiding deities. Of course, the doctors will laugh at all these kind of things. Where is this sun? When we perform surgery on the eyes, we don't see any sun anywhere. So we don't see it because these deities are in a subtle form. They are not in the tangible form that is we can see by our sense organs, but they are in the subtle form. But the thing is that there are various forms of prayers given in our books as to what kind of a devata that we should worship, for what kind of ailment, what kind of a favor. And so in India, traditionally people perform all kinds of worships. If you want progeny, worship this devata. You want health, worship this devata. You want wealth, worship this devata. You have problem with your eyes, worship another devata, Surya devata. And thus even today also this kind of worships are being performed, which we may of course dismiss them as superstition, but the idea is that this is based on the fact that is known by the Vedic seers, that this individual is a whole part of the cosmos, and the whole cosmos is there in a, this at the micro level also, the whole macrocosm is there, and therefore whatever is found in the universe is also to be found in the individual. There is a correspondence between the individual and the total. And the individual exists because of the favor constantly received from the totality. And that's the reason why if we live a life which is in tune with the total order, then there is harmony and health in the life. And if we live a life which is in violation to the obtaining order, there is all kinds of conflict and disease. Anyway, so idea is that there is this whole world of devatas, or whole world of what we call these gods or presiding deities. They are supposed to be living in the heavens. Earth is a place for all the human beings, and then the intermediate space where departed souls live, and heavens is where the gods live. This is a way of saying. And that is why even God also very often is described as possessing a human form. The whole universe is the body of the God, and different limbs just as we have in our body. Similarly also the cosmic being has different limbs. And the heavens is looked upon as his head, and earth looked upon as his feet, the air looked upon as his breath, and sun looked upon as his eyes, moon looked upon as his mind, whatever. So this is how the cosmic form is looked upon as a being, as a universal being or a cosmic being. Because as we see here, that how my body is made up of so many limbs. Each limb performs a different function. But how there is a harmony in all the limbs. How all the limbs function in the spirit of harmony and cooperation. Thank God that they don't compete with each other. Otherwise it would be very difficult. When the two legs compete with each other, the right leg says that I want to go forward. The left leg says I want. Not only that, but each limb cooperates with the whole body. In fact, each limb functions not for itself, but functions for the well-being of the whole body. That's why when I eat food, it goes to stomach. But stomach doesn't retain all that food. Stomach can say, I will not let anybody else have the benefit of that food, and all the food can remain in the stomach. The whole body along with stomach will perish. If any one of the limbs becomes selfish like that, not only it will affect itself, it will affect the whole body. One cell starts growing. Every cell is supposed to cooperate with every other cell. This one cell breaks this law or rule and starts growing. We have a tumor. In fact, ultimately that affects the entire body. So that whole spirit of yajna or that cooperation we can see in this body, and similarly also we see all the different elements and all the different forces in the universe also are all functioning in the spirit of cooperation and harmony. And thus all these functions are said to be performed by the different devatas. So that is the reason why, of course, when we look upon this whole universe as an expression of God, naturally all the various cosmic forces which are responsible for the various phenomena in the universe are also looked upon as expressions of God. And that is why we worship these different deities or different devatas. For us, fire also is God. Earth also is God. And air also is God. Sun also is God. Moon also is God. In reality, people worship sun. People worship moon. People worship earth. People worship water. People worship all this. But Swamiji, what's the proof? As I said, the only way we can say is always the correspondence between the microcosm and the macrocosm. So Lord Krishna says, all these devatas, all the cosmic forces, all the presiding deities, that also I am. So all the Purusascha Adhidevatam. Adhidevatam means that is my expression with reference to the devatas, or my expression with reference to these various cosmic forces, that is how I manifest. So this elemental world, that is also my Ksharaha, meaning my expression as a perishable being. And this elemental creation is governed by what we call the devatas. So what we perceive is the creation, elemental creation made of 5 elements. But this visible or tangible creation is controlled by what we call this subtle expression called devatas, or those gods. That is my divine expression, or the expression with reference to devatas. This world is my expression with reference to the elements. And the 5 elements includes my gross body. The devatas include my subtle body. So devatas include my organs of perception, organs of action, my mind, intellect. This is called the subtle body. That is included in the devatas. Lord Krishna says, that also I am. Adhibhutam ksharobhavaha purusascha adhidevatam adhiyajñohamevatra. And I am alone what is centered on the ritual here in this body. Lord Krishna says, I am the yajna. Yajna also I am. That means that I am the one who presides over all the yajna, or all these worship. Yajna also means worship. So this is a ritual also is nothing but a form of worship. So I am the yajna. I am that very worship which takes place in this body. As I said, in this body also the yajna is constantly taking place, inasmuch as all the different parts of the body, they function in the spirit of cooperation. That spirit of cooperation is called yajna. In the universe also, all the various elements function in the spirit of cooperation. That is also yajna. So Lord Krishna says, that very principle of yajna, that also is my expression, which maintains the harmony in the entire universe. So that yajna also I am. Now you think of what remains. Does this take care of everything or not? It takes care of everything. The universe, the world that we perceive, made of 5 elements, Lord says, that is the elemental expression of me. The cosmic forces which control these visible elements are called the devatas. Lord says, that is the divine expression of me, or the cosmic expression of me. That spirit of yajna, or the sacrifice or cooperation, based on which all these elements and devatas function, Lord Krishna says, that yajna, or the spirit of cooperation, or the worship, that also I am. And Aksharam Brahma, and the very self, which is the manifestation of God as my very self, Lord Krishna says, that also I am. And that which is the substrate of this whole universe, including the self, that is Brahman, that I am. So in the morning we discussed how Aksharam, immutable or imperishable, is that which is devoid of all the attributes, that is the ultimate and primary nature of Lord. But that very Aksharam, very immutable also, is manifest as rest of the creation. So this is how Lord Krishna gives an explanation. And even the very karma, that very karma means the spirit of offering, Lord Krishna says, which is responsible for the creation, that also I am. So this is how Lord Krishna shows his 5-fold manifestation. The primary nature is Aksharam Brahma Paramam. Primarily, I am immutable, the limitless. But that alone manifests as the elemental creation, as a divine creation, as a karma, as a spirit of yajna, and as the very self of all the living beings. Adhiyajño hamevatra. Also Adhiyajna means that he is the karma adhyaksha, the presiding deity of all the karma action. He is also karma phaladata, the presiding deity that gives the result of all the actions. Adhiyajna. So it is because of my grace that any action can be performed. It is because of my grace alone that the hands and legs and all these limbs function. It is because of my grace alone that the various materials are there with which to perform an action. It is because of my grace alone that even opportunity and skills to perform the action is there. And so all of that is I. And the result that comes as a result of performing the action, the giver of the result also is I. Not only I am the giver of the result also is I. So karma also is I, the karma phaladata also I am, and the very result also I am. Dehe deha bhrutam vara. Arjuna is addressed here as deha bhrutam vara. O most exalted. Deha bhrut means human beings here. O most exalted among all the beings. Deha bhrut means any living being. Here, O most exalted among the beings, Arjuna, this is what I am. So Lord Krishna addresses Arjuna as the most exalted among all the beings. What makes Arjuna the most exalted? What more exalted thing can be there that he is talking to Lord Krishna? Isn't it that Arjuna is how blessed he is, that he has the benefit of a constant dialogue with Lord Krishna? And that is not possible unless he must have been really a deserving person. So, with that in mind, Lord Krishna addresses him as Deha Bhrutam Vara, the most exalted among the living beings. Thus, in these two verses, Lord Krishna answers 6 questions of Arjuna. The 7th question, the answer will begin from the 5th verse. That is the answer to the 7th question, which will continue. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.